Hey you guys, Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry it's been a second since I've made my last video. It's been a very complicated couple of months, very busy to say the least, but it's alright. I know that when I first started this channel I wasn't intending to make something that was so rigid, even though I know in my previous videos I said, I wanted to make some videos once a week or once every other week, but it's okay if it isn't that rigid. I've come to terms with that, so here I am about 5 months later making another video, and as you can see, quite different from when the last time I made a video, and that's what the theme of this vlog is going to be about. So as you can see, I'm not wearing hijab, and this has been something very difficult for me to cope with. It's not quite as easy as some other converts may make it seem, even though everybody likes to talk about, how difficult their journey has been, or not necessarily that they like to talk about it, or, that they enjoy struggle or they enjoy pain. But, it's something that converts tend to be adamant about talking about, is how we do have this struggle, but with so many converts online and even converts that you may meet in person, they just make it seem so easy to just put on the hijab and be so proud to be different and to stand out from that societal norm. I don't know if anybody remembers, or I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before in my other videos. I come from an area that's not very heavily populated with Muslims. I'm actually supposed to be giving a lecture soon about what it is like to be a convert to Islam, and I had to do some statistical research, and in the area of Ohio that I live in, which is more the northeast area, I think there's less than 1% Muslim population, and this is just all together. This isn't talking about necessarily a specific type of Muslim, just Muslims altogether. And for what I know of, I'm the only white convert that I know in my area that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure that there are others, but just to say the least, that just goes to show the sort of diversity within this area. And so I go online to find a lot of inspiration from other converts and the sorts of journeys and experiences they've had in the past, and I found that so many of them seem to be so strong, or at least they portray themselves to be that way, and I feel so incredibly weak. I realized that my identity is not something so black and white. And I was just talking with somebody today about how I tend to categorize things into these rigid boxes. It's either A or B. It's not one with a little bit of the other, or vice versa. It's either A or B. And I realize people are more complicated than that. And identity is something blurry. It's not something that has these straight lines. And it's not necessarily something linear as well. And sometimes we have to take a step back and reevaluate ourselves in order to take a step forward. And sometimes that involves taking 3 steps back and 1 step forward. And that's kind of at the stage where I am in life right now. And it's really frustrating to me because I want to be strong and I don't want to be weak. But I realized that before, with regard to wearing hijab at least, and the identity that I shared, along with many other converts and even not converts, Muslim girls, wearing hijab is such an identity. And I realized that the reason I was wearing it was not necessarily for the sake of Allah, even though of course you tell people that, like, it's for the sake of Allah. I realized when I would wear it, I wasn't necessarily wearing it for the right reasons. I was wearing it to be a part of a community, to fit in, and there's not necessarily something wrong with that, but there was one day where I had to stop and think, and I thought, well, why do I do the things that I do? And I was trying to gain an awareness about that, and I realized that I want to have better reasons for why I do the things that I do. I want to honor Allah. If I'm not thinking in that sort of way, then I need to separate myself and go back and look at my goals, look at how I can realistically reach these goals, and to do the things that I need to do when I'm ready to do them. I need to have the right sort of processes. I need to have the right sort of coping mechanisms. And I realized that, I wore hijab almost as this key to look Muslim, to act Muslim, but in my heart I wasn't really resonating with being Muslim. And I realized that when I wore hijab I felt so conflicted about it, and I realized that for myself I needed to, like I said, separate myself, take a step back, and start over. And there takes a lot of humility for that. you know, and it's very vulnerable, and you feel so weak, and you look weak too. You're showing people, like, I am human, and this is a fault that I have. It doesn't make you any less of a Muslim, and this is something that I've really had to remind myself of, and I've talked with many people about it, that it doesn't make me any less of a Muslim to not wear hijab. It doesn't make me any less of who I am. So this has been something I've really been struggling with lately, is wearing hijab, and with that, it's kind of like a snowball-like effect, you know. When I was feeling so conflicted about wearing it, I realized I started slacking in my prayers. I wouldn't be praying on time, I would miss prayers, and, you know, I would feel so jaded about it all. And I realized that, you know, this jaded feeling, you know, this general being disgruntled, it was making me very unhappy, and I was feeling such a tension, such a friction between myself and my Islam. And sometimes you just have to rejuvenate yourself, and for me, doing that is taking off the scarf, you know, looking at myself and realizing that it's okay to start over and it's okay to fall. It's being resilient is what matters, and Allah looks at that. He looks at your intent. You know, He's not just looking at your consequences. He's looking at why you do the things that you do. You know, it all matters to Him, and only, you know, He can judge you on that. No one else can judge you on that, and that's something that I've had to really also say to myself over and over again, like a mantra. Only Allah can judge me, and only Allah knows my true intentions. And in the end, whatever the end is, that's what really matters. So these past few months have felt like I've been moving through mud. I've just been having difficulty waking up, being my bright, bubbly self. It's been very tough, but I realize admitting that toughness has made me stronger and has made me move forward. And it's okay to move slowly. You don't have to move so fast. I realize as converts, sometimes you tend to want to move fast. You feel very impatient, or at least I do. I felt very impatient, especially, you know, again, since this is kind of a big theme that I've been focusing on, is the hijab. You know, I felt very impatient about wearing it. I wanted to jump right into wearing it. I wanted to jump right into that community, fully immerse myself, and that's okay to do that. But sometimes, you know, people don't quite work that way. We need time to cope. We need time to adapt. We need time to change. And that, you know, is the same for not just hijab, but all of Islam. It's a different lifestyle. You know, it's a different way of viewing life, and it's beautiful. MashaAllah, it is beautiful, and it's something to be so grateful for. But sometimes we can lose track of that, and that's frustrating. It's frustrating to be human. So these past few months, I've taken a lot of time to reorganize myself, to refocus myself, and I changed a lot, but it's good, alhamdulillah. It's been a good change. I've been doing a lot more schoolwork. I changed my course of study, and I'm actually a post-bac student now, and this is going to be my last official year of undergraduate classes. So alhamdulillah, it'll go great, and inshallah I'll be finished with my second undergraduate degree this upcoming May. So that's been a good change. I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous videos, but I'm actually the president of my university's MSA. So I'm going to be more involved with that, and I realize that that strengthens my Islam, and that allows me to put things into perspective, to allow me to be involved with the Muslim community and to be true to my intentions, you know, to focus on bringing my community together, to being a part of my community, and to really cultivating the strength to be proud of being Muslim, to kind of conquer those fears. So this video is kind of just like an update of what's been happening with me, kind of like an apology, but it's not something that I want to be like like an oh poor me, like I've been going through this, that, and the third. That's not what I'm really going for here. I really want to learn to be more vulnerable, and I want to be more open, and with this I want to help other converts to realize it's okay to not be this solid individual all the time. It's okay to falter, you know. What's important is that we are resilient and we learn to get back up. And I realize it's hard to relate to a lot of other converts that I see online because they don't show this. It's hard to show vulnerability. It's hard to show weakness. And when you do, you know, at least what I've seen in some videos, there's almost like this level of not being quite as genuine. And, you know, that's fine. You know, you don't have to be completely vulnerable with your audience. That's on you. But I think it sometimes helps to see you know, that vulnerability, to see that yes, there is struggle and it's okay to hurt and it's okay to take a step back, you know, as long as we're getting up. And I keep saying that over and over again. And to be honest, I'm kind of saying it more so for myself than anything, but I wanted to say it to you guys too. It's okay to fall, but as long as we get back up. So that resiliency is what matters. And again, that's what Allah really looks at. So inshallah, I'd like to make more videos detailing more of my life, talking about these struggles, maybe just the mundane. Who knows? I don't know. I don't want this to be something so rigid. I'd like to be more freeform and to be more organic with my videos. So I'd like to talk more about what my MSA is doing. For example, we just brought a Swedish speaker to talk about his journey from walking all the way from Sweden to Palestine. He did it to raise awareness of the plight of Palestinians under military occupation, and I actually just uploaded a piece of his lecture on my channel, so you can look at that if you're interested. Alhamdulillah, it was amazing turnout, so I'd love to do more videos talking about this sort of events that the MSA is doing, what's going on in my personal life, how I'm kind of regaining my Islam and strengthening myself. Inshallah, I'm going to take it slow, but I'd still like to keep up with this, so I appreciate you guys still watching and subscribing. You know, when I wasn't making videos for a while, I would, you know, go online and I would get these updates from YouTube and I would see people still subscribing, even after I had not made a video for months. And, you know, alhamdulillah, that's such a blessing to, you know, have people out there who are so supportive and so kind. I've been completely taken aback by this kindness. It's such a blessing, and it allows for you to really be appreciative of struggle and to be appreciative of getting past this struggle. But thank you guys for watching. I know this video is a little bit scattered. You know, I, again, want to be more organic with it, and this is me trying to be as organic as possible. Inshallah, I'll talk to you guys later, and see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.